Hello there, this is Yanis from Arcweave, and this is our basic tutorial series continued. If you are new to Arcweave, we advise you to start watching from the beginning of this series so that everything makes more sense. In this video, we will show how to add and manage audio in our Arcweave projects. We can now add music and sounds to our projects, creating a much more immersive interactive experience. Arcweave manages audio clips just as it does with images. We can use the Assets tab up here to upload and access all of them. So as you may have noticed, I have created a folder for all the image assets, and I've already placed them inside just to keep things tidy. And I'm going to make the same, I'm going to do the same for audio. And now by clicking the plus sign here, I can upload 3 audio files. Now Arcweave supports MP3, WAV, and OGG files. I'm going to upload a Tavern Atmos, this file here, a zombie growl, a sound effect, and a little bit of music, a short loop of a guitar. We can playtest and adjust the volume of an audio asset if we simply click on it on the Assets tab. For example, if I open the Tavern Atmos, I can click play to listen to the clip, and then I can use the slider to adjust the volume. To attach an audio asset to an element, we simply drag and drop it from the Assets tab into the element's body, just as we've been doing with images and components. So I have just attached my Tavern Atmos into my onto my first element. Now we can see this extra section appear at the bottom of the element, which contains the attached audio asset. Let's test how this plays out on play mode. Now, if we want to turn the volume down or off during our playthrough, we need to get to our play mode top menu. So we click anywhere outside the story content, and this is how we make the top menu appear. And we see a new thing here right next to our familiar orange bug, and this is a volume controller icon. Now, using this, we can turn the volume down or completely mute it during the play. Just note that although the orange debugger icon is only accessible to the project's editors, the volume control is there for anyone playing your game. Now we can attach multiple assets to an element. For example, we can drag the guitar music into our first element, along with the already attached Tavern Atmos. And now we can see that this bottom section of the element is actually a list containing all the audio attachments of this element. Not only can we attach multiple assets onto the same element, but we can also attach the same asset multiple times. So I can drag the guitar asset as many times as I want into the same element. And each of these attachments is an instance of the same audio clip. At the moment, there is no point in multiplying the guitar, so let's remove the unnecessary instances. To remove an audio instance from an element, we simply drag it out and drop it onto an empty area of the board. We can also drag a clip instance from one element to another, just as we've been doing with components. This is all familiar behavior. Before we give this a test, let's get rid of all the unnecessary instances. Okay, we now may not like the balance of volume between the tavern atmos and the guitar music, but we already know how to fix this. So if we go to the Assets tab, click on the tavern and drag the slider to the desired volume, and you can do the same with the guitar and just go back to play mode to hear it again. Note that changes that happen at the assets level affect all instances of this asset in the project. We may also notice that once the guitar clip plays out, it then stops. And the same happens with the Atmos actually, it's just that the clip is longer. But we may not want the clip to play only once. What if we want it to loop instead? So there are some actions that we can perform on the instance level. So far we've seen actions performed on the asset level, but now there are some actions that we can perform on the instance level. That is, settings that affect only specific instances and not the asset on a global scale. To access those instance-specific actions, just go to an instance and click on it, and then we get this pop-up here. So for example, for the guitar, we get a pop-up with a couple of settings. Let's first see the setting on looping right below the clip's preview slider. So we can again preview the clip, and right under the slider we get 3 options. Now by default the newly instantiated clip is set to play clip once. This is why our clips stop after their first playthrough. To make the clip loop, we must choose the second option that says loop clip indefinitely. Now, if we run the game on play mode, we will see that the guitar clip restarts once it plays through. There is also a third option when we click on an instance, and that is stop playing all instances of clip. And this is actually how we can stop a loop that we have started in some earlier element. For example, if we attach the guitar to the second element, so the guitar starts looping here, and we can attach it. There's something funny with my mouse, I think, today. But anyway, we can attach the guitar asset here as well. But we set it to stop playing all instances of clip. Now, the loop begins here, and once we exit this element and enter the new one, the guitar loop stops. So we hear the guitar here, and once we exit, it stops. Please note that the stop option stops all instances of the clip, regardless of whether they are looping or not. What this means is if we add a second guitar here, and the first one only loops and the second one is one-off, this addition here stops both of them. I'll just get rid of this one, and I will add the Tavern Atmos in order to stop it as well in this second element. The other little trick we can do with an audio instance is to add a slight delay, that is, sometime before it actually starts playing. For example, let's say we first want to establish the scene using only the Tavern Atmos and introduce the guitar a few seconds later. To do that, we click on the guitar instance and we add, we go down here to the delay part and we add 3000 milliseconds of delay, which is of course 3 seconds. So now if we play this, we can see that we have a nice setup of the Tavern Atmos first before the guitar starts. I like it. One little note, any changes we do in the project's audio require us to refresh the Play Mode tab in order for them to take effect. So that was all for this episode on using audio in Arcweave. Add your music, atmos, and sound effects, and easily create an immersive experience combining storytelling with audio-visual elements. If you're finding these tutorials helpful, please consider subscribing to Arcweave's official YouTube channel. You can find us, the Arcweave team, hanging out on our Discord server, and of course you can follow Arcweave on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm Yanis from Arcweave, thank you for watching, and let the games begin.